From the John DeVita Broadcast Center, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Paranormal Radio with Bob Tricek on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network and Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM Norwich on Tuesday, November the 25th, year 2014. And now, here he is, Mr. Bob Tricek.
Thank you, John DeVita. Thank you so very much for saying the date, too. I just wrote that down because I forgot what day it was. I was going to say this chilly November day, and I forgot what day it was. So it's November 25th. This morning, we kind of went from the two seasons here. It was like spring in the morning, and about 9 o'clock, everything went over to winter. So I hope everyone is in the mood to enjoy their Thanksgiving holiday, and then coming up very soon, the Christmas holidays here. Okay, tonight we've got kind of a full load of people on here, so I'm going to start announcing folks. Somebody that's been familiar to us, he's been with us a few times, about 5 or 6 times at least, I know, Mr. Tony Sabelski with White Dog Paranormal. And then he brought a few of his team members on, Miss Michelle Pellegrino and Liz DeCanter. Welcome to all of you for coming on Paranormal. Welcome to Paranormal Radio. Thank you for being with us. And then we also have, thank you, you're very welcome, Tony. It's nice to have you back. Yeah, you're like I said, you're always welcome here anytime you want. You just call me and say you want to come on, you come on. We always squeeze you in there somewhere, not a problem. And also, too, with us tonight, we have Father Karras. Now, if you remember your movies, and you ever saw The Exorcist, you know Father Karras was the priest on The Exorcist. That's who's with us tonight. And he comes to us from Cigars and Stripes over in Berwyn. Father now likes to hang out at a bar. Cigars and Stripes is sort of a unique place. It's a, I don't know how you want to describe it. It's sort of a cigar store, tobacco shop / restaurant. They do serve some food there / bar. And it's an extremely friendly place there. They're at 6715, what is it, West Ogden? West Ogden Avenue, yeah. And they're kind of a friendly place to hang out there. So if you get a chance, stop over there and you can meet Father Karras there some night. Okay, and then also with us, too, is, like I said, Father Karras. Welcome, Father.
Thank you
very
much.
You have a blessing for the show tonight?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
May God bless you all in the best of the paranormal. Good luck finding all the spirits. And God bless you for coming as a visitor. And
that's it? That's what we get? That's it?
Well, I've been doing too many exorcisms.
You're just a little worn out here. You're kind of talked out with the exorcisms. Yeah,
right.
Okay.
From a 13-year-old.
Okay. And also with us, too, we have a fan. Sarah. What did I write down? Bostrom. I wrote an M where the N, or an N where the N should be. Sarah Bostrom. Sarah just happens to be a fan of the show, and she came on with her, I don't know, what is he? Your other better half, or your worse half, or okay? She came out with Mike Schock, and Mike Schock does not want to talk on the radio, but we got Sarah to come on with us. So, Sarah, welcome to Paranormal Radio.
Thank you.
You ever do any paranormal experiences or anything like this, or no? Just something new for you?
This is new. I've seen a couple ghosts.
You have seen some ghosts. Okay, we'll have to talk about that. We'll get your experiences on here. That's the kind of people we get on this show. We get people that actually are investigators, people that have had paranormal experiences, people that are willing to come on and talk about it. Some people are a little reluctant. Some people are kind of free about it, and they'll let you know what's going on. A couple commercials for me, some of the stuff I'm doing kind of coming up here in the near future. Next week, December 3rd, I will be over at the Clearing Public Library, and I'll be doing a lecture on something that just happened very close to us, the White House and the Christmas tree ship. I talk about the hauntings in the White House, and I talk about the Christmas tree ship. And over the weekend, we just had the 102nd anniversary of the sinking of the Rose Simmons, which was the Christmas tree ship. So next week at the library, I'll be talking about that. And then in January 15th, I just booked with them today. I will be talking over with my friends at the Justice Library, right over there on Archer Road, not too far from Resurrection Cemetery. And I'll be talking on the Columbian Exposition and the world's first serial killer, Mr. H.H. Holmes. So we'll give you the lowdown on that in January. February, I got a lot of stuff. We'll announce that later. We got a lot of things going on in February there. Okay, we are just going to get the ball rolling here and start talking to people. Also, too, in this broadcast, if I don't forget to do it, we'll start talking and I'll forget. I did bring an old recording with us. You know me, if you listen to the show from time to time, I like to bring these old recordings of opera stars on that haunt different opera houses and things. And tonight, we have one. It's Miss Emma Calvey from 1902, a 1902 Victor Red Seal recording. Emma Calvey, though she does not haunt any place in particular that I know of, but she was an opera star from the golden days of opera at the turn of the last century, and she became very, very involved with the spiritualist movement and with swamis and mysticism and all that stuff. So I thought it was kind of fitting that we would play a recording of hers. So we'll do that a little bit in the show there and give everybody a break from talking for a minute while we play the recording. Okay, I'm going to start with, since I booked you first, Father.
Yes.
Yes, Father Karras.
Yes.
So what's been going on since The Exorcist is no longer the hot movie?
Well, I've been taking vacations and stuff now, and
You take vacations? Do you still have any priestly duties that you do?
yes, I do, and
Father, you got to move it a little closer to the mic.
I
There you
do a
go.
lot of
Yeah.
I do a lot of masses now, and now
Well,
and
that's
then.
like normal priestly duty. You
Right.
do masses, you do blessings, you do.
I even
yeah.
do weddings,
You do vacations,
weddings, and
and you sit
baptisms.
and you sit at the bar over there at Cigars and Stripes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We kind of get you. Now, since The Exorcist is gone, I can remember when I was 100 years ago when that movie came out. I can remember, where I don't know what I was doing. I was still a kid then, and Monday nights for whatever reason was our free night. And we had, like, that week, it was like the week between the holidays, between the Christmas and New Year's holiday. And I remember we all said, let's go see The Exorcist. So I think we went all the way out to Oak Brook, and that was the only place that had it playing. And the line was wrapped around the building in the January sub-zero weather. We said, forget it.
Yes.
So we wound up going back to Fort City, and we wound up seeing The Sting. And I says, that was a good movie, but it won't win any Academy Awards. I was wrong. They won 6. So I was wrong about that. Eventually I did see The Exorcist at a drive-in, but I wasn't watching the movie too much. Anyway. So, you doing any other exorcisms, Father?
Well, the only one I've done is with Reagan from the movie.
Okay.
She was only 13 years old, and
Yeah.
she got a real bad demon inside of her, and I tried to get it out of her. So at the end, in the movie, I told the spirit to come into me,
Okay.
and he did come into me, and I flew out the window, and then I ended up dead.
You flew out the window?
ground, down the stairs.
Did you catch the flu when you flew?
No.
No? There was that old World War I joke they used to have when the Spanish flu was
Right.
going around. I had a little bird whose name was Enza. I opened up my window and influenza. So there, yeah. These are the kind of things we talk about on the show. So we have a classy show here. We talk about this stuff. So, any exorcisms? Now, see, I've been trying to get, almost since I started doing this show, and even before I started doing Paranormal Radio here at Windy City, I was doing a show at another station, and I always tried to get a Catholic priest to come on and talk about possessions and demon spirits and that kind of stuff, and the church still does these. They still do exorcisms.
Yes, they do.
They do, yeah, but it's a long process you have to go through, isn't it, to do
Yes,
an
it does.
exorcism? So it's not like you say somebody is demon possessed because they're doing a lot of screaming and yelling or something like that. You have to go through it's like a 2 or 3 year.
2 or 3 years to get permission from the Pope of the...
It has to come from the Pope himself? Oh, it's
Yes.
got to come from the big guy, huh?
Yes.
Which Pope? We
Uh,
have 2. There's actually 2 now.
Well, we got Pope Francis.
And then we have the Pope Emeritus, Pope
Yes.
Benedict.
Pope
That's
Benedict.
never happened before either, has it, in history? We've never
No.
had 2 popes like that. Usually Pope's always in until he dies, and then the new one comes in. Same thing with our cardinal. We just had what do they call it? An inception? Not an
An
inception.
inception.
Is it an inception? When
I
they,
think so.
I don't know, when you rededicate the new cardinal or whatever, when he becomes the new cardinal. So we've kind of had that happen now, too. So they never used to do this before. You were in for life. And then when they
Right.
passed away, then the new one came in. So we've done that with our cardinal. We have Cardinal, what is his name? Blaise Supich now. Supich? Supich?
Supich.
Yeah, he's the new one now. So, yeah, so I guess they're doing this. They're kind of retiring them off if they need to. So
Yeah.
now you've been around since, what has that movie been out since The Exorcist?
Jeez. Many years.
You were in it? You don't know? Well, anyway, 100 years ago, so you got to be getting pretty old now yourself,
Yes.
too, huh? Yeah.
Well, I'm dead in the movie, so...
Oh, that's right, yeah. See, now
'Cause I
that's...
rolled down the stairs.
Yeah. So how did you end up here tonight if you died in the movie? Oh, I see. That was a movie.
It was a movie.
That's it. That's how that went. Yeah, everything happens in the movies. That's right. They did shoot Tom Mix at the end of one picture, too. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I understand how that goes. So you have, I was going to say, you have the power to, not to dematerialize, to resurrect yourself, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Any new film offers coming up?
No, not at all.
Nothing?
Nothing yet.
Nothing coming your way? Well, we'll have to keep you in mind if we hear of anything coming up or anything like that. And maybe we can hook you up on one of these tours or something like that where they may have some demon-possessed participants on the tour or something.
Sure.
And we'll get you on there to maybe depossess somebody. Would that be
Well-
the right word, depossess? No, that's not a word.
Exorcise.
Exercise. There it is. I made up a word, depossess. Yeah, I think when you're depossessed, that means somebody that's crazy.
Well, one of these ghost tours that me and my friend Mike MacArthur done, we went to St. James Cemetery, and I went out by the gate, and I just looked at the Jesus that was standing up at the hill, and I noticed one of his hands was up in the air and the other one was down, and then it switched, and then his eyes turned red,
Oh,
and then I got possessed
oh.
right at the gate.
What did you get possessed of?
of a demon.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
what it was, but then I went into the bus, and then I just sat there, and I had all my energy was gone.
And then how do you get depossessed? You go sit in Cigars and Stripes and have
No.
knock down a couple of them, and you
No.
at the bar there, and you get depossessed.
No, I just had this one girl. She's a Wiccan.
Oh, okay. So she can
And-
practice. I've always tried to get one of them on the show too. There's a couple of them I got in mind for some future shows too. Some people that are Wiccans that are going to be coming in.
And then she saw this big white circle around me, and she saw a hand pushing my head back, and I just couldn't move forward, and I just yelled out, "Please help me!" So she came over and she got him out of me, and all my energy was drained out of me, and then I started getting my energy back, and I said, "I'll never go back to that cemetery again."
Okay. Yeah,
Because
St. James has a lot of
it
things
was a
that
real
happen over there.
scary
Yeah.
feeling.
That whole Archer Road's got a lot of stuff. Okay, we're going to switch it over, but anytime you feel like jumping in, you jump into the conversation here. That goes for anybody on here. When I'm talking to somebody else, if you got something to say, you just come on in and say it. That way we give everybody some airtime here.
Thank you,
Tony
Bob.
Sabelski.
Hi, Bob.
Yeah, definitely no stranger to Paranormal Radio. You've been with us a few times
Yeah,
here.
several times.
Yeah. Let us know what's going on, Tony. What are you doing these days?
Well, the first off, I want to say I do feel the most comfortable I've ever felt on this show because I got the good father next to me.
Oh, yeah, see? Yeah. Yeah, well, he's sitting
Even though
in
his-
between both of us.
Even
so.
though his main duties these days are hanging out at the bar and
Yeah,
going on
yeah,
vacation, and
yeah.
he's dead.
No,
And
he's here to
and
keep us
possessed and
both in line,
everything,
I guess, huh?
I still do feel very comfortable
Well,
having the father
People
next to
do
me.
give me shots at the bar, you know,
Well, yeah, of course.
like 8 of them on the bar.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with that. Well, mostly I was giving ghost tours this year.
Okay.
Since April till about last weekend, every weekend I gave
Great.
some
The
sort
whole
of
year,
ghost
huh?
tour.
Really?
Sometimes 4 nights a week, Thursday through Sunday.
Well, you got to give us the, where you're doing them at, where they can get a hold of you, where, so we can keep it rolling here for you.
Haunted Hometowns Corporation.
Okay. And how do they get a hold of you if they want to book a tour? Or?
I do have some cards and things. Of course, I can't give them.
I was going to say, we can't give them over the I was just going to say, we can't give you a card over the radio.
Well, you can go on the Haunted Hometowns website.
So, hauntedhometowns.com?
Yes.
Okay.
I gave both Elgin and Naperville. Right now, we just got the Elgin tours going on till the end of this month.
Okay. Now, these are, go ahead. Tell us what you do on these tours. They're bus tours?
Well, we could possibly use you on some of those because we do. The one we're doing right now is a 3-hour ghost hunt in Bluff City Cemetery. Which the ladies over
That
here are
cemetery is
familiar with Bluff
amazing.
City
It
Cemetery.
is totally amazing.
It's a huge 180 or 120 acre cemetery that they filmed Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5 in.
Oh.
And every time I'm in
Where'd they
there,
film the first
something
4?
happens. Different cemeteries, right?
All the local cemeteries. If they happen to be in Chicago at that
If
time,
we
they pick a
occasionally
cemetery.
do come close to some possessions in there, and having you standing by would
What
be
kind
a
of
good
possessions
thing.
do you come in contact with? Watches and, jewelry and rings and
A few wallets.
material possessions? Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, is yours like one of those drinking tours? I hear about
No,
these.
no.
No? Yeah, oh, yeah, I don't do those either. I don't do as many tours as you do. This year I did only one. I actually did one with the Summit Park District.
Yeah.
And we did the Southside Paranormal, where we hit all the local summer, haunts, Bachelor's Grove, the Resurrection Mary, that kind of stuff. You're up in Elgin.
Elgin or Naperville. I was doing both this
Now,
year.
Naperville, I know of some hauntings in there. What goes
Yeah.
on up in Elgin that people would want to book a tour to see things in Elgin
Well,
besides
we
the
have-
clock tower?
We have 2 separate tours in Elgin. There's
Okay.
a 4-hour van tour, which goes to the Channing Memorial Elementary School,
Okay.
the back gate of the Elgin Mental State Hospital,
The back gate. Why the back gate?
because they won't let us in the front gate.
I had a feeling that was coming. That's why I
That's a
asked
good
it.
reason.
Yeah, that's why I had to ask it. And you brought with you tonight a couple of your assistants too, that are your paranormal
well,
investigators
yes,
in
from White Dog Paranormal.
Yeah,
They've also been on my tours.
they've been on your tours.
Yes,
Okay.
and helped me on
Oh, so
my
you don't
tours.
you don't give the tours with him. He does the
No,
solo.
no.
Okay.
No.
No,
You're
no.
strictly with the paranormal investigative team.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. We're both with White Dog Paranormal.
This is Michelle that's speaking to us now, and then we also have Liz with us too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, we actually we have gone on the tours with Tony before.
Okay.
Many
and the one that
times.
he's talking about, the Bluff Cemetery in particular, I just thought was extremely fascinating. I have to say, we did a spirit box session at one of the mausoleums, and I thought this was really interesting. We were doing the spirit box, which is the box that scans the radio stations, and that's white noise, which the belief is that spirits are allowed to come through. And we were knocking on one of the mausoleums. Actually, I was knocking on one of the mausoleums.
On one of the crypts.
On one of the crypts,
Okay.
right. We were knocking on it, and the spirit box clear as day. Remember this, Tony? The spirit box clear as day. We heard, come in. Clear as day
Okay.
came through, and it was the only thing that came through.
Did anybody knock back from the other side?
No,
no,
no, it was
something?
just come
Yeah,
in.
yeah, we
It
need
was
you
just
out
come
there.
in. It's an amazing tour to go on. It's pretty fascinating.
Did you remember the name of the crypt? Whose it was?
I don't remember. That was a really. I don't remember which one that was.
I would have, because that would
Yeah.
sound like one you'd want to go back to.
Well,
See, now
he
you're,
would probably
now you're an
know it.
investigator.
I
You're
would
supposed to take
probably
notes on
know
these
Well,
things.
not in the dead of night. No, you're not thinking about notes in the dead of night. You're just trying to hang on to your hat and anything else you got.
Now I have to ask you. Because I do some investigating myself. Why do you do this in the dead of night?
The bright light of morning's just no fun.
Okay.
It isn't. I mean, the dead of night, I don't know about you, Liz, but the dead of night, in particular, I think it's the quiet. There's less chaos.
Yeah. Okay.
I think not only for the spirits to be able to come through, but also for people. You can actually focus when it's totally
Right.
quiet
I'd
and
agree with
very,
that.
very dark.
Yeah.
You can still get stuff
Yeah, that seems
when
to
it's
be
light out.
between paranormal investigators, the people that I've had on the show anyway. Most of them, 99.9% of them, say they like doing it at night just for that reason. It's quiet. There's less traffic noises. There's less people. That kind of thing like that. Less traffic. Not that their spirits are any more receptive at night than they are during the day, but it's a little easier to investigate.
Yeah,
They're-
I think
they're
for
more than like- oh, go
investigators,
ahead,
no, I
Michelle.
think for investigators too, it's also about sensory because the moment that the moment you go into total darkness, your senses all get heightened. You're
Ah.
listening, the way you feel in your body, everything gets heightened because you can no longer use your eyes to process what's going on. That's just my opinion.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Opinion
that
well
feeling
taken.
of flight is there
Oh,
at
yeah.
night.
I can tell you because I've had to grab hold of her so she didn't run screaming from
That's what
the
I was
room.
going to say. The experience of flight is there sometimes.
Yes, it is.
Sarah, what do you think about all of this? Now, you're not a paranormal investigator. You're strictly
not.
here just because you're a fan of the show and you
Yes.
wanted to see the radio station and that kind of stuff. You think you'd like to get interested in something like this? You like
Yeah,
paranormal
this is-
investigating and that kind of stuff?
This is
Yeah.
very cool. I've
That's
never experienced anything like this before.
Sarah, you should come to our
sure.
meeting
Yeah.
in February.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, we have an open meeting, and then you can come with us.
Yeah, that'd be very cool.
We're
Talk a
gonna
little-
we're gonna
Inside
pick
stuff. closer.
locations at the meeting that we want to investigate this
Yeah.
year.
Okay.
For 2015, White Dog's going to pick their calendar, but you should come to the February meeting, and potentially you can go on a couple ghost hunts with us.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, we'd love to have you.
Sure, me, nothing. Yeah, her. Yeah, sure. Yeah, nothing, me.
You
Yeah.
too, Bob.
Unchopped liver, nothing for me. Sure. No, I'm just
What
kidding.
you
Yeah.
told me about the radio show, it's the same for you.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You could come on my tour anytime you want.
I'm just
You could
teasing
come
you.
on
I know
an
I'd be welcome there.
investigation.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the invitation.
Absolutely.
But no, I just didn't want to feel left out. I had a.
Yeah.
So, Liz, how long you been doing this paranormal mumbo jumbo stuff here?
Seriously, probably about 2 years.
But you kind of just had like an interest in this all the time, and that.
My
and-
whole entire life.
Yeah, that's the same thing with me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've just
Yeah.
had several experiences, and I, just wanted to follow through. And I was fortunate enough to meet Michelle, leader of White Dog, and another group. And first, actually, was Tony. Who I met.
Yeah,
Okay.
same
Without
here.
Tony, I would not have met anybody. So thank you.
Now,
so
how did you?
much.
Is there a nice
Welcome.
story connected to this? How did you connect with Tony? How did you manage to meet?
Are we allowed to plug in?
I don't see why not.
Okay.
I don't see why
Yeah.
not
Okay,
either. Yeah.
Plug it
so
in.
I signed up with meetup.com.
Okay.
And so I was just looking for a paranormal group, and there were several that were listed.
So this is an online like dating thing, meet people, that
Well,
kind of
it's
stuff.
not
Tony, you dog, you Tony.
It's just to
need
meet
a
people
priest.
with
You
the
got
same
one.
interests.
Okay,
And
all right.
that's how I
You
met
know, wedding
Tony
and
in a
then-
meeting. And actually, I wasn't too thrilled with the group that I was sitting in.
Oh, boy, okay.
But I don't even know what their names are. But just my connection with Tony that
It's the
evening
Red
was
Lion Pub.
instantaneous.
Actually, what the name of
Oh,
the
Red
group
Lion
is, you
Pub,
would
sure, I've been
probably
there
know
many
because
times.
You,
Okay.
you were a
But
part
I'm
of
not
the group.
gonna
But
say.
yeah, it does. But
Red
that's
Lion
where we
Pub
met.
has a lot of paranormal activity in it, and I
Yeah.
get the
Yes.
creepiest feeling on that staircase going up.
Oh, yeah.
I always when
interesting.
when I go on the staircase, I get this feeling that I'm being pulled back, like I'm going back. Like you're walking up, and I always feel like I'm going back, and that happens to me a lot in old buildings that I go in. That's why I can kind of tell when something's happening there, because
Is
I get
the
this weird
pulling
feeling.
from your? Are you being pulled from your body or your legs?
Not physically. It's not. I mean, no
No, I
one's
know,
actually
but where do
physically
you
touching
feel
me.
it?
I feel it like on my upper body, like it's being pulled back, like I'm going backwards. Like it's
Wow.
going back.
Interesting.
Yeah. I get that a lot in old buildings. Sometimes I think it's just because the staircases aren't aligned right, too. In
Oh,
older
okay.
buildings.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
It could
I think
be,
with older
yeah.
buildings. But I know Red Lion's got some stuff that goes on over there and that, too. So, any hot investigations lately? Or
Oh yeah.
Oh, my
yeah?
goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot
Oh,
of
yeah,
stuff?
yeah, yeah.
Goes on
yeah.
and on and on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
get to go to the one you guys went to the last time because
Which one? The one at in
Inglewood.
Inglewood?
Yes.
In Inglewood?
Yeah, because I had 2 tours back to back that night, so I was
Oh, okay.
wiped out by the end of the night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Inglewood was pretty interesting. Why don't you talk about that? Because that's your group.
Well, no,
that's your
you-
other group.
Well, oh, that's
Yeah.
CPI.
Yeah.
So we went to investigate this. What was it called? An emergency station?
It was a fire dispatch.
Oh, a fire
station.
dispatch.
Yeah.
And it was actually sometimes when we go into a location, we get a feeling that something, like you say, you enter a
Yeah.
building and you know something is off. Honestly, when I went in there, I mean, everybody, we didn't feel much of anything.
Right.
But boy, it was active.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
I mean, we have EVPs that are astounding from that location.
Over the weekend, I went to a séance, and I could
Where
feel.
was that?
I went to a séance over the weekend.
That
It's
was
in
the
Cicero.
one-
Yeah.
It's the church that I've told you about
Yeah.
in Cicero.
And I right away when I walked in there
The
right
old
away, I
funeral
could
home.
feel something in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could feel it right away. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we weren't really feeling anything, but there was definitely stuff that
Oh,
started happening.
I felt my hair being pulled.
Well, you did. That's
yeah,
right.
in that
right?
one room. And then there is an actual video footage, and where I'm with another investigator. His name is Matt, and he's sitting down. I'm standing up filming the room, and I suddenly hear "Rrr," like a sound like that, and I immediately turned to him. I said, "Are you feeling okay?" Thinking that he had made the sound. He said, "No, I didn't do anything. I feel fine." But it's interesting in the video, listening to that sound. It was
Okay.
audible. And usually you don't hear it unless you hear back the
It's
recordings.
kind of a rare thing for ghosts in spirits entities to actually have like physical contact, where you say like you're feeling pull in your hair or that kind of stuff like that.
Mm-hmm,
To actually physically, some people claim they're scratched by him and this kind of stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. It's very rare to have that happen. Yeah.
Actually, not as rare as you might
Yeah, I
imagine.
was-
Okay.
I think when you start doing this more often,
Mm-hmm.
that type of stuff becomes more frequent. We
Mm-hmm.
did also the Congress Theater, beautiful, beautiful
I
old
was there for
theater
that.
in
Wow.
Chicago. Yeah,
That's
that
a hot
place is
spot too. The
huge.
Congress,
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I went into the ladies' room, and
Why is it always restrooms?
I
Some
don't
people-
know.
It's the ladies' room, too.
Restaurants
Something
in these
about
restaurants in
that.
these places, they all maybe because there's mirrors in them.
maybe
You know, because
That's a
restrooms.
good
Yeah,
theory.
Yeah, that is a good
that's my
theory.
theory
That's
on
a
it.
good
Yeah,
theory.
because restrooms seem to always have
Yeah.
activity. You go to the Excalibur, it's the restrooms. Wherever you go, it's restrooms that
Yeah.
have the activity in them.
Interesting.
I
Red
don't know
Lion
what
Pub,
that
it's the
is.
restrooms.
It's a
Country House
right.
Restaurant.
Country
too.
House,
Yeah,
it's the
it's
restrooms. Always the
yeah.
restrooms.
Yeah, I went into the ladies' restroom and I said out loud in the ladies' room, I go, okay, leave me alone until I'm done doing my business.
Oh, what
Please
happened?
don't do anything until I'm done doing my business because I was in there by myself.
What happened when you went into the men's restroom?
I didn't go into the men's room
Oh, okay. I was trying to catch you. See, okay.
No.
Fast answer. Okay.
and went into the stall and literally felt someone tug on my hair to the point where I screamed out loud and they heard me and,
Yeah. We
and
went in
came
there
running.
running.
But something continued throughout the night to play with my hair. Yeah,
Really?
that place was pretty interesting. Didn't you see an apparition up in the audio room?
Yes, I did, along with another investigator who's also on both the teams. Just looking up to the projection room, I saw a black shadow walk across.
Okay.
And literally, I said, "Oh, someone's up there." And then nothing came up. And then an hour later, Annette, one of the investigators, said, "I just saw somebody walk across over there."
Okay.
And she had not heard me.
This is a
before.
separate instance.
So you went up and you
Separate.
investigated. You checked it out. It was nothing with the lighting, nothing with this,
Nothing.
nothing with that, nothing that it could be. You know how we try to debunk
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
you
No,
know.
we definitely
Yeah.
tried to debunk everything.
What do you think about all this, Father? You think you'd like to go into some of these places? And,
I would love to go to some of these places.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you. You should come to, for sure. We'll let you know about the February meeting, and then we're going to kick it off, and we're going to start inviting people to come on some of those other ghost investigations that
These are
White
by,
Dog does.
by investigation only, huh?
You could
By investigation only, yeah.
you could do
Yeah.
the blessing before and after.
I would love to do
Definitely.
There
that.
you go. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
We'd love to have you do that.
I had
And
a
possibly a few in between too.
Yeah. And if
I even
anybody
had
gets
a-
possessed, you can help.
Yeah.
Cemeteries now. Now, you guys mentioned cemeteries. So many of the paranormal investigative teams and paranormal investigators and this and that, they say, no, we don't do anything in cemeteries. We don't go. Nothing happens in cemeteries. Why would they want to have anything go on in cemeteries?
we
They're already
totally
dead there.
do.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
we do.
Yeah,
Definitely.
then later on, they'll tell me, like, off the record, they say, oh, yeah, we're doing this investigation here or there at this cemetery or that cemetery. So, yeah, stuff goes on. I believe it with all my heart.
Well, I believe
100%.
every location has energy.
Mhm.
I know you have it in your home. I have it in my home. Everybody, if you're open to it, they're willing to speak. Of course, you have to protect yourself, but definitely, I do believe that every location, even this home.
You're right about that, Liz.
Oh,
You're
even
totally
here?
correct.
There's
Even
activity here?
Yeah, we felt it up
Oh,
in
John,
the
did you-
bathroom.
John?
Sorry, a restroom again.
Mr. John DeVita, the nicest man in radio. Did you know that you have activity in your home?
No.
No? No?
Yeah, we
Well,
felt
assure
it
you
in
if
your
Tell me, I
had
don't
an
know what
EVP
kind of
session,
activity you got,
We'd
but
get a voice.
Yeah.
you're getting a voice?
Yeah.
I said if we did an EVP session, I'm pretty sure we would get a voice.
So you're
Yeah.
picking up voices in the bathroom here?
We're picking up energy in the
Energy.
bathroom.
You're picking up energy in the
Yeah.
bathroom. That's a strange place to be picking up
Again, a
energy.
restroom, right?
Yeah,
I don't know
always,
why.
It's always the bathrooms. I think it's because the mirrors.
Yeah.
I think
could
because
be
you have all
right
these
about
mirrors
that.
in
That's a
bathrooms.
very
Yeah,
interesting
yeah. I
thought.
felt that for a long time. Yeah,
Yeah.
I might
As
be onto something here.
passageways, you
Yeah.
like as a
Oh, yeah.
passageway
Right.
to
Yeah,
mirror.
definitely, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I would agree with that.
Oh, I agree, 100%.
And don't
And-
ever believe that it's always negative. It
No,
is.
and that's
It
not
could be a
true.
loved one there
Right.
that wants to say hello, and if you're open to it, they're going to do whatever they can. Sit on your bed. I'm sure a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've ever
For
felt
sure.
this.
No.
No. Okay. You'll be laying in
Different
bed and
things.
you'll feel the depression in the bed that someone's sitting next
That
to you.
happened to me 2 nights
Yeah.
ago.
So.
Oh,
2
really?
nights ago. Yep.
Yeah.
And you're at home?
At home.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
at home.
do you know who it is?
Well, I'll tell you, I had to talk to a kind of on an urgent matter this morning. I had to talk to a woman I've never spoken to before. She's a psychic and a medium. Her name is Carmela, and I had to call her this morning because there had been some stuff going on in my house that started several months ago after we visited and did an investigation for a Roth house called the Watsika Wonder up in Peoria. I think something followed me back.
How long? I was just going to say, did you think you attached to something and it brought it back
yeah,
with you?
and I think she suspects that it's children because it's been a lot of things in my house disappearing and then showing up.
Ah,
And last night when I tried to sage my place, I had the entire surge protector pulled out of the wall in my bedroom. And then when I thought I had saged the whole house and possibly taken care of it, saging, by the way, I'm talking about cleansing. And you cleanse with a prayer and a giant batch of sage or holy wood.
well, this is where Father Karras comes in.
Thank you. Right? I should have called you.
See?
I should have
But of course,
called you.
you couldn't have called him because you didn't know
called
him.
him. I
so
didn't know
yeah,
him.
now you know him.
He was
so.
in a movie.
He was in a movie.
Yeah. So now you know where to get him. Call Cigars and Stripes, and you'll get Father Karras there, and you'll get him there. That's his second church.
And I'll be there in a flash.
I love
Yeah,
it.
there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. So then I thought I had gotten rid of it. And the next thing I knew, the light in my kitchen, the plug had been pulled out and neatly set on top of the surge protector. So that happened twice last
So they're
night.
playing around with your electric.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Playing around with the electric. This morning, they pushed a door out of a cabinet that I have. And it slammed on the ground. So it worried me a little, and I did call Carmela and talk to her for a
Set the
couple
cameras
hours.
up and everything, and the voice recorders, and see
Yeah,
what comes
and
up.
figure out what it
Yeah.
is.
See if you see
yeah,
what you get.
that's
yeah,
a
start-
good idea.
Start,
I've been a little
investigating.
concerned about doing that, but we should do that.
Now, how long?
Yeah, we should do
I have to
that.
ask you, how long have you lived at this residence?
6 years.
6 years you lived it, so it's not a real long time. But everything was fine up
No.
until like 7 months ago.
I've always heard stuff in the house
Okay.
from the day that I moved in, but it's never been anything at a level like this. This
Now,
just
have
started.
you researched and checked out like the history of the home, how old it is, who former
Um,
owners were, former tenants, that kind of thing?
I did, but the truth is, very hard to find anything on the location at
Really?
all. Yeah.
How old is your home? How old is
The
it?
building has probably been there since the 60s, so it's not that old.
It's not
a
that old.
fairly
Yeah,
new
yeah, okay.
building.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what was on the site beforehand. I have no idea.
I was going to say sometimes it's not that current building;
You
it's
got it.
that
It's usually
area
the
or
land.
whatever
Yep.
was there before.
Yeah, it's
you know,
You're right.
land.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is, Bob, is that there has been a tremendous amount of construction going on in the area. They've been ripping up the Metra and ripping up all the piping. And it seems like things have picked up since that happened. I will say that. And that's the neighborhood. That has nothing to do with the building.
Yeah, being that it's not connected to. Usually, this happens like when people say, "Oh, we started having activity in the house and all this. And we've lived there for a number of years. We've been there 20 years. Nothing." First thing I ask them is, "Did you do some remodeling and changing walls around and things?" "Oh yeah, we did that. We just remodeled and knocked a few." I said, "There you go. You start shaking them up."
You're
Also,
right.
adding on too when you add on to a home and stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So this could very well be connected.
Yeah,
Especially
depending
if
on
those
what's going
pipes
on
and
in the
things are. If
neighborhood.
those pipes
Yeah.
are joined to your building, they could very well be,
Right.
connecting
Right.
to it. Yeah.
I think I took something with me from Roth House. Roth House is the site of one of the very first possessions in the state of Illinois, and it is extremely well documented. It's called, if anybody wants to look this up, it's called the Watsika Wonder.
Okay.
It's an amazing, amazing place. And what I think happened is I conducted the first seance I've ever conducted in my entire life. And I think that something started bothering me during my sleep. And then I think it followed me home because I forgot to cleanse before we left.
You got to be a little careful with what you're doing. You kind of, you sound like you're pretty experienced with stuff, but I'm sure you know what precautions to take. You got to be a little careful with this. Now, do you do much fooling around with Ouijas?
No.
Okay. No,
None of us do.
Yeah.
No.
I don't either. I'm not crazy, but you know me. I've said this before. I'm not real crazy about the Ouijas. I don't recommend anybody using them. I really don't. I just went to go see that. Did you see that movie that's out?
Yeah.
The
I haven't
Ouija?
seen the movie yet.
I
haven't seen it yet.
That's the
I
first
thought
movie.
it was good. I thought it was good.
That's the
It
first
was a
movie
little
I saw
crazy,
about.
very Hollywood.
Yeah, that's what I said too. Yeah, that was my
Hollywood.
review of it. I said, it's a typical Hollywood, of a Ouija. Yeah. First movie I saw in about 2 years.
I
and
haven't
picked that
seen
one.
that movie yet.
No, I haven't seen it.
So,
yet.
Father Karras,
Yes.
here you are in a movie where it starts with the Ouija board, and you haven't seen Ouija.
No.
You have to go see it.
Yeah.
You have to go see it. You have to
Well,
go check
when,
it out.
when my friend of mine, he invited me to go to the movies to see that, and we just got to the theater, and they said it was sold out. So we couldn't
Ouija
go.
was sold out?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
It's teenagers.
Boy,
Because people
Teenagers,
are over
right,
at
yeah.
Hollywood Boulevard movie theater.
We are going to stop, ladies and gentlemen, and take a slight break here, and then we will be back in just a moment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
It's very fast.
You're listening to Paranormal Radio with Bob Tracek from the John Navita Broadcast Center on Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM Norwich and the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network on Tuesday, November the 25th, the year 2014. And this is Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM Norwich. And now, back to Paranormal Radio with Bob Tricek. Okay, Bob, you're back on.
I don't think I'm on. I don't think you can hear my mic. Mic's not on, John.
No. Mine's
John,
on.
there it goes. Oh, there I am. Now I'm on. Okay, I was off there for a second there. Something possessed my mic, Father. Yeah, something possessed my mic. There it
Good
goes.
thing you
Okay,
got
we're
the
on.
father right next to
just
you.
blessed
Okay, before we're about at the halfway point, we get these real fast. Like when we stop and take a break, the break for us is about a half a minute. That's it. That's our break. So we go on real fast. I don't know how long is the break when they do these on the air, John.
All depends.
All depends on how long they need a break. Yeah, because our breaks go real fast here. We stop and then we come right back on within a few seconds. Okay, I think I said this at the beginning of the broadcast when we started. I'm going to play an old recording here. Usually I like to do this from time to time where I'll bring some opera stars on, like Enrico Caruso, or I'll bring on Francesco Tamagno, some stars that are known to haunt different opera houses and things around this country and around the world for that matter. This one does not happen to have a haunt. I did a little bit of research on Emma Calvé, who's this artist we're going to play, and no paranormal activity connected with her, except she herself did get very, especially later in life, she lived until about 1947. This recording is from 1902, so that gives you an idea of the long life that she had. She was known for the role of Carmen, very, very well known. You could not, at one point, you could not think of the role of Carmen in Bizet's opera without thinking of Emma Calvé. She was just so closely associated with that role. But she did later in life get very, very involved in the spiritualist movement with Swamis and Eastern mysticism and all this. So she became very involved with psychic phenomena and psychic things. And we are going to play tonight a Victor Red Seal record from 1902, and it's Emma Calvé singing her signature song, Habanera, from Carmen. Okay, I'm going to play this, providing everything works right here, which we tested out before we started. Beginning of the record, if you listen to it real closely, you can actually hear the Victor record technician uttering a few instructions to her to start the recording, because this was 1902, so recordings were very, very new.
When I
You could hear her laugh at the end.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, right at the end of the recording, you could hear her laugh. She was like, ha, 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 I finished my recording. I done it. Victor used to let these go out this way because recordings were very expensive to do. In the very beginning, of course, you hear that tinny piano accompanying with it, and they put the orchestras in. This recording was done in 1902 by the very famous, well-known Emma Calvé, so very, very closely associated with the role of Carmen. And Calvé was kind of a difficult artist to work with, as so many of the female divas were in those days. She liked to sing in front of the recording horn, but part of the stipulation in her contract was she had to dance, just as she did on stage. So she would dance in front of the horn and do the recording. And she also liked to stop and comment. She'd comment and say, oh, didn't I sing that magnificently? I did that wonderful, to the recording technician's dismay. Then they'd have to go back and redo the whole thing all over again. So very often on these early recordings, the early ones, a lot of times there were imperfections in them, and they just didn't want to do another take. They would let it go the way it was. So these recordings in 1902 sold for $2 a piece for a 10-inch record, so they were quite expensive for those days.
Yeah, that's a
Although it wasn't the
big
most
deal, though.
expensive
It is,
one.
yeah.
Most expensive one was the Lucia Sextet, and that sold for $7. But you got 6 artists on that one. We just had some interesting stories going on here while the record was playing about Carmen with Liz. You want to tell us about any of that?
Well, this weekend I've been singing that piece.
Do you sing opera?
I do not sing opera, but
Okay.
I can sing.
Okay.
I don't know the lyrics, but I
Okay.
know the tune very, very well because I grew up in Spain.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, you grew up in Spain?
And I grew up in that city of Seville.
Really?
So I've been to the
The
cigar
shady
factory.
dame, the shady dame from Seville.
Seville.
Yeah.
That's from
Victor Victoria.
Victoria.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But
There was
it
once a
just
shady dame
struck me
from
very,
Seville.
very strongly in hearing this piece. When you said Carmen, I go, oh my goodness, I just been singing and humming this tune this whole weekend.
Interesting.
Not constantly, but just,
Coincidental.
and to hear my voice.
Do you think it's coincidental, or do you think it's something supernatural?
I think it's maybe
I'll chime
both.
in. I thought it was a premonition. I thought maybe she had kind of a premonition that she was going to be hearing it.
Something like this did happen on our way to an investigation. I was in the car with you, Michelle, and your nephew, Anthony, and I kept calling one of the new investigators.
This was Ashmore, right?
Yes, I
Was it
can't
Ashmore?
remember
Yes.
what her name. Her name was
Barbara.
Deb, and I kept saying
Barbara.
Barbara. And you said no, her name is Deb. So when we went to, no, it was Rhodes Hotel.
Oh, it was Rhodes.
Rhodes
You're
Hotel.
right.
And when we got to this location, I can't remember the gentleman's name that was who owns the
Chris.
giving us a tour of the place, and he said, in this room, this what was it, a case or like a suitcase belonged to Barbara.
Okay.
And it just struck me like, why have I been saying Barbara?
Yeah, that name all the way
All
up.
the
She
way
kept saying it up
Barbara,
there.
Barbara, instead of saying Deb. That's the investigator's name.
So you have these little psychic abilities, probably, huh?
Well, I don't know if I have psychic, but I mean, it's so strange.
It's
So
like
you're,
she
you're
tunes
from
in.
Seville,
She's
Spain?
very in
Yes,
tune.
Now, you have no accent, so you must have came here very young.
No, I came here at the age of 18.
Really?
My parents, both American,
Oh, okay.
had an American school, a school that spoke English.
Oh, I see. So you're an American citizen.
I
They
am an
they
American
lived there. You
citizen.
were there because the parents were in
Exactly.
Spain. I get it. I was in Spain many years ago. I went to Spain. I went to Malaga and to Granada, Torremolinos, Spain. Yeah.
We'll have to talk.
I toured the
Ole.
Palace of the Alhambra and all that wonderful stuff. Yeah, ole.
Ole.
I went to the bullfight too on Easter Sunday. I went to the bullfight.
Really?
Yeah, in Malaga. I went to the bullfight, and I did not go to a bullfight until 30 years later. I went to the bullfight in Mexico when I went to Cancun.
Oh.
Cancun has a small bull ring, and I went to the bullfight there too. It's kind of the same thing. The bull never wins, but
Yeah, no, eventually they do go.
Interesting.
Poor
Spain, yeah, Spain was a beautiful
Poor
country.
bull.
Yeah.
Calvé happened to be a French singer, though. She was not a Spanish singer. She was French. But interesting that you had that kind of little
Yeah.
connection there with that. What do you think about all this, Father? Is she possessed?
No, I don't
hope
think
not.
so.
I don't either. No, I don't think she. I don't think so. What do you think about this, Sarah? You've been kind of quiet for a while. You just taking all this in, or?
No, I think that sometimes people do have premonitions about things to come.
Oh,
People
yeah.
are just some people are more sensitive to it than others.
Paranormal, as we all know, I'm sure everybody here at this table knows, paranormal is not always necessarily seeing the ghost. Everyone wants
No.
to do that, but you experience the paranormal through sounds, through smells, through other ways you experience it. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Interesting stuff, huh?
Yeah.
So, any hot investigations coming up? that you want to talk about? I know sometimes paranormal teams are a little secretive about where they're
Nothing that
going.
I know of.
No, we're going to do. We are going to do Congress Hotel, though.
Yes,
We're going to do Congress
yeah.
Hotel in December. In December,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a real ad hoc investigation. As long as you book a room, the whole south side of the hotel is completely dark and shut down, and we go and investigate those hallway areas. The hallway areas we snuck into a.
We did it earlier this year.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you guys did it.
We
When
did.
you do
Yeah,
it?
we did it first.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
was that? January.
I think it was, yeah.
It was snowing, but it
It
snowed
was
from
cold.
like
It was like,
December to
Yeah.
April. So
Right.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was January.
Yeah.
I've seen a few horrifying things at that hotel.
Really?
I go to school next door.
Is it real
I've
people or ghosts?
Naked men stretching out in the windows while I'm in class.
how did I miss that one?
Yeah, we didn't have that
Congress
experience.
Hotel
Well,
is the sister
yeah,
building
you
to
know.
my school.
that you, Bob?
No, that wasn't me.
Roosevelt, so at the Auditorium Theater. So that was my school.
Wow.
Liz asked me. She says, "Was that me?" No, it wasn't me. I've never stayed overnight in the Congress Hotel.
Oh, well, we have.
We have.
That was very, very interesting.
Yes, it was.
Location.
See, it could have been you, Tony.
Well, no, I did stay overnight there, but it wasn't.
Yes, of
me.
course.
It wasn't me.
Now it was men you said that you saw stretched out in the.
Yes. Oh, gosh.
Jeez.
Yeah,
How
not
weird
those.
is that now?
Well,
How-
it's
very bizarre.
It's my school is the auditorium building, and so the windows look out on the hotel rooms, and people just don't realize there's a school there. And they
I was
just
going to say they probably
swing
don't
open
realize
the
they probably
curtains
don't
and-
realize they're being
well,
seen.
Then
you know?
maybe
Yeah.
it could have been me.
Oh, goodness.
But the Congress Hotel is a very,
Yes.
very interesting place.
Well, just always remember there are a lot of people that
Yeah.
just love showing off their shortcomings. So
Yeah, that's going to be exciting
Yeah.
to go
it
back
is. We're
there. I
going
mean,
back
I've been
again.
there, oh boy, I want to say about 3 or 4 times.
Well, you guys went even another time.
Yeah.
didn't you?
We went
Yes.
in.
now, just for the benefit of listeners, now we're all talking about the Congress Hotel. We all
Yes.
know that's downtown. When you're driving down Lakeshore Drive, you can see the big sign up there, Congress.
Yes.
Now, just for the benefit of anybody, do you know the history of the building? How old it is? I know it's a very old hotel.
It's built in the auditorium building next door is where my school is, and the Congress was built to mirror it as a sister building. And when the auditorium building shut down, it used to be a hotel. They literally mirrored it, and they moved everything over into the new building in the Congress and made that into the hotel.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
If-
there
if I
are
were- oh,
tunnels
go ahead.
that
Yeah.
join both the auditorium and the hotel.
Those are Al Capone's tunnels.
Yeah, his
Probably.
tunnels
I'm
are
just saying they were
25
there.
miles long.
Yeah, oh,
in the
yeah.
city.
Mhm.
They go from south
If I
to
remember
east side.
my Chicago history correctly, I think that building was built in 1893 for the Chicago
Columbian
World's
Exposition?
Fair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're
Columbian
right.
Exposition.
You're right,
Yeah,
Tony.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
At least it didn't turn into the murder castle. But
Right.
then again, maybe it did. Maybe
Well-
that's why there's all that
Well,
activity going on.
Holmes
Right.
may have tried to
Right.
build
Oh,
on
yeah.
that site, but maybe
Yeah, he was
they
all
wouldn't
over
let
the
him.
place, yeah.
Yeah.
He might have.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've been
Did
doing
he
a lot
use
of
the
research and stuff on
14
Holmes.
room to meet the women when they would have the dances
I
in
think
the
Oh,
floor
I
he,
didn't
did- I
read
think he
about
did
that.
mention
is where
that.
he
yeah.
he met several of the women.
In
It's
the
hard to know
Congress Hotel.
with H.H. Holmes, Mudge, whatever you want to call him, whatever, because he had so many aliases, and so many, so many different names and stuff. It's hard to know when you're researching him what is true and what's not true. It really is. The facts
Yeah.
really become garbled because there's so much. It's just hard to know what's true and
Did
what's
you
not true.
read Jeff Mudgett's Bloodstains?
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
He really does lay it out in there. I
Now
mean,
Mudgett
he's
is
pretty-
Jeff Mudgett is, gosh, in what way related to him?
It's his. I think I may not be right.
There's some
but
connection
it's
there.
like great,
Yeah, it's like a great
grandfather.
grandson.
That far back?
Yeah.
Great, great,
Yeah,
great,
like
great.
great.
Is it
Well,
that
this is
many?
1893. It wouldn't be
Three or
that
four.
far back.
Three. I thought it was 3 greats.
It might.
I could
don't
be
know.
wrong though. I'm not an expert by any means, but he's a grandson basically. He's a grandson.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times removed.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Because I know he's got some connection to it. He didn't know it himself. He was doing something, and then he found out that
And
he was
found out
connected
about
That
to
he was,
Yeah.
yeah,
H.H.
We
Holmes,
just
yeah.
saw him at the haunted conference. He had a great presentation.
He's
at
all
the
over the
haunted
place. Yeah, he
conference.
does a lot of things. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's everywhere. Yeah.
He was trying to make the case for Holmes being Jack the Ripper.
Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably going to
I
be
don't
his
know.
next book.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be his next
Another person that never really found out who he was, Jack the Ripper.
No.
No.
Just kind of happened. The Whitechapel murders. They went on, and that was it. And they never really found. They had a few theories about him over the years too. Might have been a
Right.
member of the royal family. Different people. They don't know.
Yes.
Somebody very obviously skilled in surgery. That kind of stuff. So.
Right.
Which Holmes
Which is
was.
why Holmes
Oh yeah,
That
definitely.
was
one of
He was
the
trained as he was a
suspects.
doctor.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's so ironic that he could have been very successful doing things legitimately, but he chose this path in life. You know, he
Yeah.
chose the dark side. You know, how strange. Yeah. Who knows what pulls you over to the other side? You know. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Tony, you got to tell us some more about these tours. Publicize them here. Do some advertising for yourself.
Okay.
Every Saturday you do these?
Well, no. Like I said, from April till last weekend,
Okay.
when we canceled the tours because it was so cold, I was giving a tour pretty much every night for Thursday through Sunday night.
Cool.
Now, there were sometimes it was only 3 nights,
Okay.
sometimes only 2, but for the most part, 4 nights.
Great. So you're very,
And
very successful
I
with
could
these.
do the Naperville walking tour, which is a 2-hour walking tour.
Yeah,
She's
and
been
I've
on
been on
that.
there.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly storytelling, but I do
Okay.
pull out some paranormal
Sure.
equipment and at some of the locations, and do a little investigating, dowsing rods and things like that, ghost box. Then in Elgin, we have 2 tours. The one that I had mentioned earlier, the 4-hour, 4-stop tour.
4 hours and 4 stops. So you're an hour at each stop.
Yeah, about an hour at each stop.
Okay.
Which is the Channing Memorial Elementary School, which was the first cemetery in Elgin, where they, when they opened the new cemetery, the new city cemetery, they thought that wasn't enough land for a city cemetery back in the 1880s. So they opened a bigger, larger city cemetery, and they left it up to the people who had relatives buried at the Channing site to pay for the cost and removal of them to the new cemetery. And a lot of people didn't, for one, didn't think that was right. They already paid to bury him once, and why should they pay to bury him again?
True.
And in some cases, they couldn't find relatives. And in other cases, when they tried to move the old wooden caskets, they would just fall apart.
Oh, yeah. In those days, you would.
Right.
After a very short time underground, they would just be nothing really
Right.
left of them. That's why they didn't do, in the past, they didn't really do too many transfers like that. They kind of left them.
So they ended up just moving a lot of the headstones over to the Bluff City Cemetery.
Leave the Marines, move the headstones. That's it. Yeah.
And when they built the Channing School in 1968, many years later, they dug up 13 bodies.
Oh, my.
Nine
or remains
when they
of
put an
bodies, whatever
addition
was
on
left.
later,
Yeah.
whatever was
Yeah.
left. And there are actually, you can look online. There are newspaper articles from the Chicago Tribune when they were building that school that mentioned, though they tried to remove all the human remains, in a lot of cases they couldn't. So a lot of it was pushed into the foundation of the school. So there is more than likely human remains in the foundation of that school.
The law now, I don't know what it would have been 1880s or whenever it was that they did this. Is it the 1880s?
Well, they built the school in 1968, but in 1880s
Oh, 68.
is when they
the cemetery
closed
was
the cemetery.
okay. So from the 1880s to 1968, there's going to be very little left of human remains buried
Yeah.
in wooden caskets and that kind of stuff. There's not going to be a whole lot left.
Yeah,
But in any event, now the law is 100 years from the last burial.
I've heard that.
Yeah, 100 years from the last burial. That's when you can close a cemetery.
close it.
If you do want to build something there, you have to transfer everybody out. You have to have them all moved. Because that was a big thing with the O'Hare Airport expansion.
Right.
There was that little cemetery there, and people were kind of going through the same thing. They didn't want their loved ones disturbed and that kind of stuff. And,
There are still 4 visible headstones on the Channing property.
Oh, okay. So some they left for whatever reason or another.
For whatever
Those
reason.
people had some political power or whatever and said, no, you're not moving our family. We're staying here. Just like the Crouch Mausoleum in Lincoln Park. Lincoln Park was originally city cemetery, as we
Yep.
all know.
Yes.
And the Crouch Mausoleum is the only one still there.
Yeah.
They,
Wow.
they knew Abraham Lincoln. They knew the mayor of Chicago. They knew
Yes.
people. They had power. They said, nope, we're not going no place. We're staying. That's the only mausoleum still in Lincoln Park.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
I've been
But
there.
occasionally they still, same thing there too. When they're doing work over there, occasionally they dig up a few bones here
Right.
and there and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
When they were building Lincoln Park Zoo, they did that.
Yeah.
They'd actually dug up some casket fragments and stuff when they were doing it. Lester Fisher happened to be the director of Lincoln Park Zoo at that time, and he contacted the city and says, we're building the barn here in the children's zoo, and we're digging up caskets. What do you want us to do? And they says, well, whatever you want. So they kind of just left them there and built everything over it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I did not know that.
See?
Either.
Yes.
That's pretty interesting.
Chicago has a lot of neat
Just
history
like
like that, yeah.
Channing.
They decided, I think it was like after the cholera epidemic in the city of Chicago. Chicago went through a real big cholera epidemic, and they decided to move Lincoln Park out because they wanted the cemetery away from the city, away from the population for disease and that kind of stuff. So that's why they did it.
Wow.
You would have been very active in
Interesting
those days,
facts.
Father, doing
Yes.
funerals and
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm very active.
I was
Even
actually very busy with
Yeah.
doing funerals in those days.
in
too.
those days. Yeah.
you were around then too, huh?
Yes.
Oh, you're older than you look. So you were now. What was The Exorcist? That was 1970.
3, I think.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
I
And I was like
think
I was in
right.
high school then, so I know it was a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've been around since before 1973.
Yes.
He's been around.
Yeah, you've been around a long time. How come they never made you the Pope?
I don't know. I don't have the Pope material,
You're not Pope material.
right? But there was one thing that a friend of mine, he was killed by a truck a long time ago, and he was homeless. His name was Louis Arro, and he was Italian, and he was just coming home, going to his place where he usually lives. He would go to a dumpster and take out a carpet and lay it down in the back in the alley. but he just was going to see a friend of mine, and it was her birthday at the time. So he was going to celebrate her birthday with her, and then he got off this bus, and then he started walking. He fell and broke his eye socket
Oh my
Jesus.
goodness.
and knocked himself out, and here comes a truck, and it rolled right over his back.
Oh, my.
Gosh.
And he was 56 years old. And I went to his house, to my friend's house, and they were saying something about a homeless man that was on the TV, and I go, wait a minute, I was just hearing about him, and that was the person.
Oh
Well,
my goodness, I'm so sorry.
And then we just had a burial. I was trying to raise money to give him a proper burial, and this one lady, she calls me on my phone from her house and over at my work, and she says, I have a burial plot that I like to donate for him.
oh, that's really nice.
And then the priest at this other cemetery, or at the church, he did something behind my back, and we couldn't put him in that burial plot.
Oh,
So we had to put him in a mock cemetery, and he doesn't have no family. His brother and sister don't care about him, and he's over at Park Home Cemetery in LaGrange, and he doesn't have no headstone.
Oh, my.
So I went to visit him, and I'm standing there, and I can hear people talk because I'm like a psychic medium. I can hear them, and all of a sudden I hear him, get off my grave. And I'm like, okay, I'll move.
Last time I'll ever come and see you, huh?
I know.
Yeah.
And we just bring cans of beer for him that are empty, and
Yeah.
and he was 56 years old, and we were trying to raise money for him. And we're trying to raise
Wow.
money to give a headstone for him,
wow.
and his nickname was Papa Smurf. And,
Smurf.
and he always had a big glass of soda with.
Now, that's
This
kind of
much
interesting.
vodka in
Somebody actually donated a burial plot for him to be buried in,
They
but the
wanted to
priest
bury-
would not allow him to be buried there?
They did it. They wanted to do it all by themselves, and the money that we were gonna open up an account in a bank, and the priest took all the money that the people.
Had donated.
Let's hope that
Donated.
priest is being haunted as we speak.
Oh yes, he's being haunted by him.
Good.
And this
boy.
is at the Congregation Church in LaGrange, right on the corner of LaGrange Road. And
Oh, yeah, I wish you wouldn't have gave the name of the church, because now we have to clear, it's not the church that is bad. If there's one person here that's doing something like this,
Right.
don't, we
Yeah.
don't want you to
Right.
hold us
Right.
against the Congregational Church of LaGrange, don't hold it against them.
No, I'm
It's,
not.
there's people that do these kind of things, so we don't want to, just like priests that abuse kids and this and that. It's
Yeah.
not all the priests.
Right.
It's not Father
Exactly,
Karras.
Exactly.
no,
So do you believe that your friend, if I may ask a question, I'm so sorry.
go ahead.
Do you believe that your friend remains at that location and he chooses to stay there and not move to the next?
And I even talked to him, and he says that he's upset, and he wants me to find this truck that rolled over his back.
So they
Okay.
never caught the person that did
No,
that?
it was a hit and run,
Wow.
and they took him to the hospital, but he was still alive in the ambulance. And then when he got him to the hospital, they had the IVs in him and everything, and he says that he said to the doctor, would I be able to ride my bicycle? Because that's all he did was ride his bicycle. He loved nature. And the doctor said, no, you won't be able to ride your bike because you're paralyzed.
Oh, my.
And he says, forget you. He
How long
pulled out
ago,
the
if you don't mind me
IVs.
asking, how long ago did all this happen?
About 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's pretty recent.
It's pretty yeah. uh-huh.
Yeah.
And if you want to come to that cemetery, you can hear him talk.
Really?
Well,
It's right on the
Cemeteries
Grange
are-
Road, right?
Hmm?
It's on the Grange Road.
On the
Park
Grange
Home?
Road.
Yeah, I've passed
Called
it before.
Park Home Cemetery.
Every cemetery I think we've ever been in has been pretty active.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, pretty
And I was going to
significantly
mention
active.
for your Elgin tour with those headstones when we would put on the EMF.
Yes.
I mean, they would just light up and
Yeah.
And
several
the
headstones
K2,
in
remember that?
the
K2s
K2 meters
would go
in
off on headstones too, which
Bluff
doesn't
City
make any
Cemetery.
sense because there's no electricity there. I
Right.
mean,
No.
they would totally
Yeah.
don't go off.
And then the priest wouldn't wait for me to come to the cemetery to, do the burial and stuff like that. He says, "Oh, I'm just going to do it right away." And he couldn't wait, so the casket was sitting right there on the plot where he was going to be buried. And then I finally got there, and then I had like 24 white roses or carnations, and he had 55 friends around there.
Wow.
and a picture of him on top of the casket, and I played "A Time to Say Goodbye."
Yeah.
Oh, very
And-
nice.
That was real touching, and this one friend of his was 35 years of friendship.
Wow.
Comes up to me and says, "You did the best job you ever done for him."
Do you think he was one of these homeless people that chose to be homeless? Because
Yeah.
you know how some people do. They just
Yeah.
they
They just chose
they
to
like
be
that
homeless.
lifestyle.
Yeah, some
they,
do.
they're-
Yeah.
You know, they can have a home, they can live places, they can work, they can do things, but they just choose this lifestyle.
He just had a
You
job
know,
too.
I mean,
and
not to come
everything.
down on anybody. I'm not, you know,
No,
but
no,
some
no,
people,
no,
but some
no.
people just they like that
Yeah.
lifestyle. They like
Well,
that.
when he
and-
said he liked
Exactly.
nature, I just automatically thought, well, he chose that lifestyle.
Yeah.
All he did was just ride his bicycle through the trails and
Yeah.
Yeah.
slept in the
That's a
in
shame,
the
you know,
woods
to have a
and
life
everything.
end that way. You don't want to see that happen to anyone. You know, you really don't
No.
want to.
Right.
Absolutely.
But
not.
it's very nice that you did what you did for him, the way you did that.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
it's nice, yeah, yeah.
And he would,
Absolutely.
and if you were down in the dumps, he would come up to you and, make a friend out of you, and he'll make you laugh and everything. And one of his favorite lines I liked from him was, "I have no time. It's always too busy." So that was one of his lines. He always had that finger
Yeah.
pointing, and he was just a great friend.
No, there is somebody upstairs.
Yeah, there's somebody up there.
No,
Okay.
But out of the corner of my eye, I thought I saw something literally
No.
move from
Uh-oh.
left to right over there. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's
It's
I
probably
saw
the
that out
shadow
corner
of the
my
person
eye.
that
It
was
There is a
probably
person
upstairs.
up there.
Can you see them from here?
Not really, because it's like a curved staircase.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't see them.
We've had somebody else.
No,
we've had
but
somebody
the
else on
the
the show
door's
that
right
claimed they
there.
saw somebody here
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
literally, it was just out of the corner of my eye, and I actually thought somebody had come into the room, and I saw them move from left to right. And then you looked over there, and I thought you saw the same
I
thing I,
heard
did.
something over there.
You heard?
So
Was
I-
it the foot walking though?
No,
or-
I heard something over there, which is why I looked. Like
Okay.
at the doorway.
So that's very interesting because I thought I
might have
saw
looked in.
something walk
They
across.
might
Just to kind of
Okay.
clarify this, what everybody's kind of talking about here. The entrance where we come into the studio downstairs, where downstairs the studio is, and we come in the door we come in, and what they're talking about is the doorway that we would enter. It's the only way in and out of the downstairs where we're at. So they're thinking that something went on over there. Now, some time ago, a while back, maybe last year, when we were doing the show, I had a couple of paranormal investigators on, and they claimed that they had seen something here too. There was some kind of activity going on there. Myself, I never.
Thank you for
I never have.
verifying that because
Yeah.
I really did. It was a shadow, and I saw it go from left to right.
Possibly I never do because the way I'm sitting where I'm sitting
Yeah.
now, I'm
You're
facing
facing this way,
the control
right.
booth. I'm not
Busy
facing
before we
the
leave
entrance.
tonight.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's interesting
Did you
stuff.
bring
Yeah.
your digital recorder?
Yeah.
I
Did you
didn't.
bring your digital
No, I
recorder?
should've.
Brought my dowsing rods.
Did you? Oh.
Liz is very good with dowsing rods.
Yeah,
by the
she's
way.
excellent with dowsing rods.
Well, we'll have to get you on here with your equipment the next time, and we'll have to see what comes up here and this and that and the other. John, you didn't know that you had activity in your building, did you?
No.
No.
He's like,
Are
no.
you you're not scared? No, are you? We're not scaring you.
No.
That's what I'll call Norris Police and have them guard me tonight while I shoot.
Yeah. Well, I think that's about it. We are going to wrap. We actually went a little over here.
we did.
We
yeah,
did.
that's all right. Not a problem at all. No. We have to acknowledge everybody here. Don't forget also to listen to us on Jack FM 89.7 WRHS in Norwich. We'll be on there. Is it Tuesday or Wednesday? Tomorrow we'll be on. About 8 o'clock in the morning we go on. 10 o'clock. Oh, 10. They moved us up. We're getting a better time slot now. We were on too early. Now we're on 10 o'clock, so people can actually listen a little better there. You can pick up the shows anytime on YouTube. Usually John Chakanda, who's our producer, picks these up, puts them up on YouTube within a day or two, and then also on the Windy City Network, www.windycityhometown.com. We'll be on there. Father Karras, thank you so
Yes.
much for coming on. You have any plugs for anything you're doing recently, or?
Well, we're starting to do some ghost tours now over at Cigars and Stripes.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Yeah, and we go down 171 to St. James Cemetery.
Okay.
And then down to Willowbrook Ballroom, the famous ballroom.
So you do the Resurrection Mary tour?
Yes,
Okay.
we do.
That's with Cigars and Stripes over in Berwyn.
And also, I got a friend that's he dresses up as a vampire,
Oh, geez.
and Mike
Not my
MacArthur,
Those actually do scare
and
me.
he's also
Yeah.
a tarot card reader at Cigars and Stripes. You can meet him there, and he'll read your cards
Is he dressed as a vampire when he does the readings, or?
sometimes.
Oh, okay. If the mood hits him, huh?
Yeah.
Now, is he like one of these wannabe vampires? You know how some of these people
Yeah,
actually
he's-
think they are? Oh, he is one of those? Okay.
Yes, he is.
I met a bunch of those. There's a big cult of those down in New Orleans that really think they are vampires. They really do live the vampire lifestyle and that kind of thing. They really think they are. And I actually met a guy when I first started doing radio a long time ago, to make a long story short, who was actually one of these vampire type people. I wanted to get him on the radio, but he didn't want to come on and talk about it. He felt it was something that he should keep
It was
private.
too early. The
Yes.
sun was shining, huh?
I
Maybe.
suppose, yeah. Tony, as always, thank you for coming
Thanks.
on. You're
Thanks,
welcome
Bob.
back anytime you want. 2 newcomers,
Thank
Liz,
you.
Michelle, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sarah,
You're welcome.
I hope this was
Thank
beneficial
you.
to you. I hope you had a good
Yes.
time coming and listening on. And thanks to Mike Schock for just being here.
Thanks,
Mike was in shock, so he didn't. hence the last names. He didn't want to come on and talk, but he was an observer. Thank you all very much for coming on, and folks,
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you
Thanks,
for
Bob.
having
Thank
us.
you.
You're very
Bye.
welcome.
Bob.
And folks, thank you so much for listening to Paranormal Radio. These shows are a joy to do. I love doing them. We do them once a month, Paranormal Radio. Next show we do will be in December. I'm not quite certain who I'm going to have yet. I got a few people in mind, but I will definitely for December doing the Christmas tree ship, the story of the Christmas tree ship. We'll be doing that, and then also too next week come and listen to me over at the Clearing Library. Be talking over there at 6 o'clock about the haunted White House and the Christmas tree ship story. Thank you folks for listening, and bye bye. Have a wonderful holiday, wonderful Thanksgiving.
God bless you all.
You have been listening to Paranormal Radio with Bob Trisek from the John DeVita Broadcast Center on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network and Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM Norwich. Paranormal Radio was directed by John DeVita. The executive producer of Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network is John Chicana, and our radio station manager for WRHS FM Norwich is Kevin Zeflick. This broadcast was pre-recorded on Monday, November the 24th, the year 2014. And on behalf of the entire staff of Paranormal Radio, the John DeVita Broadcast Center, we wish each and every one of you a very, very happy and blessed Thanksgiving. Until next time, be safe and thanks for listening.